You know those great heist movies? The ones with all the tension, the super detailed planning, the team of specialists. Well, it turns out a really sophisticated cyber attack isn't all that different. It's not some smash and grab job. Nope. It's more like a meticulously planned digital heist. So let's pull back the curtain and see exactly how these things are planned, starting right at the beginning.
So how does it all kick off? You're probably picturing, a crazy flurry of code, or maybe a system just suddenly crashing. But the reality? It's much, much quieter than that. It doesn't start with a bang. It starts with a whisper. Just watching and listening.
To really wrap our heads around this, we're going to stick with that digital heist idea as our guide. I mean, think about it. Every great heist needs a flawless plan, right? The digital world is no different. And that very first step, it's always the same, whether you're trying to break into a bank vault or a server.
That's right. It all starts with casing the joint. Long before a single line of malicious code is written, way before a password gets cracked, the attackers are doing their homework. They are figuring out the layout, checking the security, and, most importantly, learning who has the keys. And this phase, this whole casing the joint thing, well, in the world of cybersecurity, it has a proper name: reconnaissance. This is the official term for that first absolutely critical step. It is the foundation that the entire attack is built on.
Now, check out this definition from the MIT ATT&CK framework. The key words here are actively or passively. So what does that mean? Well, think of it this way. Active reconnaissance is like walking up to a house and rattling all the doorknobs to see if one is unlocked. Passive is more like sitting in a car across the street, just watching who comes and goes, or maybe looking up the building's floor plans online. Both methods are incredibly useful for an attacker.
And this quote from MITRE really gets to the heart of it. This isn't just about randomly collecting data. No way. Every single piece of information they find has a purpose, and that purpose is to plan what comes next. It's all about building that perfect blueprint for the eventual break-in.
So you can almost think of it like the attacker is creating a shopping list, a really detailed list of everything they need to know to pull off their heist successfully. So the big question is, what's actually on that list?
Well, it pretty much boils down to three main categories. First up, you've got victim organization details. This is stuff like who are your business partners, who are your suppliers. This info is gold because it could let them attack you through someone you already trust. Then there's infrastructure information. This is the technical blueprint, your IP addresses, what software you're running. It basically shows them where the technological weak spots might be. And third, maybe the most valuable of all, staff and personnel details. Names, job titles, email addresses they scrape from LinkedIn or your own company website. They use all of that to craft super convincing fake emails, phishing attacks, that trick your employees into just handing over the keys to the kingdom. Okay, so once they have their list, this is where the real planning begins. It's not just about having a bunch of facts. It's about connecting the dots. For instance, an attacker finds out your company uses a specific software. Then they find a known vulnerability for it, and then they use employee info to send a super targeted phishing email that exploits that exact vulnerability. See? It becomes a tailor-made attack strategy.
Now let's just zoom out for a second and see how this fits into the bigger picture. Reconnaissance is literally the first domino to fall. The information they gather here makes step 2, initial access, possible. It's how they find that unlocked window or that weak password to get inside. And that, in turn, lets them get to their final goal, the payoff. Without that first domino, the whole chain reaction just fails.
And that's really the ultimate goal here. Find the path of least resistance. Is it a server that nobody's patched in a while? Or is it an employee who might be a little too quick to click on a link? Reconnaissance is all about identifying that weakest link before the attacker ever has to risk being detected.
And believe me, this isn't just about a few clever Google searches. According to MITRE, there are at least 11 distinct known techniques for reconnaissance. We're talking everything from scanning networks for open ports to digging through code repositories for leaked passwords. It's a whole sophisticated field all on its own.
So as we start to wrap this up, it's so important to get why this quiet, almost invisible first step matters so much. It's really easy to focus on the flashy, noisy parts of a cyber attack, but honestly, the real danger often begins right here.
And if you take away one thing from all of this, let it be this: reconnaissance isn't the break-in. It's the blueprint that shows the thieves exactly where to drill. Without the solid intel they get from this phase, most of these sophisticated, targeted cyber attacks would just fizzle out before they even got started.
Which really leaves us with one final, and maybe a little uncomfortable question to think about.
If so much of this is just based on gathering information that's already public, how detailed is the blueprint of your company, or even of your own life that's already out there for anyone to see?